Just before Christmas 2025, ProductionCrate quietly dropped this awesome plugin. Before anything else, this is not an ad. I'm not being sponsored by ProductionCrate. But look at it. Shame it's part of LaForge suite, which means a paid subscription. But their social media is saying it's free. Yeah, free for subscribers. But I'm a subscriber on the free tier. On the microscopic chance that anyone from ProductionCrate's marketing team is watching, let me just have a quick chat. Just you and me. Hi, huge fan, love ProductionCrate, genuinely. But tiny note, having LaForge and subscription tiers and free but not actually free effects is a lot. This is the second LaForge effect you've released that's free for everyone. And I ignored that first one because of the LaForge suite messaging. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, let's get... Hang on. Hi, me again. The whole Portal thing, which I think is an installer, did also throw me a bit when I went to grab the black hole plugin. No real notes here, it's just a little weird that I had to install LaForge, which appears to be less a thing and more of a vibe. Still a big fan, just what one's best for you. Okay, sorry, no more interruptions. Let's get started. First things first. Once you have signed up for a free account with ProductionCrate, you need to install the Portal. When you have the Portal installed, use that to install LaForge suite from the Portal. Then you can close this down and open After Effects. In the Effects menu, you'll find several new ProductionCrate sections, and anything marked free is free to use without watermark. So I'll just add Crate's black hole to a new solid, and there we go. If I immediately create a new camera by going to Layer, New Camera, and then use these controls to fly around the black hole, you'll see it's very impressive straight out of the gate. It looks good, but not as good as it looks in ProductionCrate's promos. That's because there's a ton of settings you can adjust. First thing I'm going to do is jump down to rendering, and I'll uncheck black BG so I can see the transparency grid. Later on, if I want to add some stars or anything behind, then this is a handy feature. Back to the top, the presets provide some options, but they are all pretty much things you can get from the settings on your own. A very good option is the high quality setting, so you can get everything ready and then check that before rendering. Probably the best way to explain the settings is to recreate the formation animation I made at the start of the video. So first I'll move to about 3 seconds in the timeline, and then I'll expand shape. I'm going to set keyframes for mass, which is the size of the event horizon, the black sphere. I'll also set keyframes for disk radius inner, disk radius outer, and disk thickness. The disk being referred to as the cloudy ring thing. For the whole animation I'm going to ignore shading, although hopefully you can see that you can change the colour of the black hole, its clouds, and how light responds from these settings. I will expand noise though, because in here with a few adjustments we can alter the speed, scale and general look of the Accretion disk. That's the name, not cloudy ring thing. The sound you hear is from a million astronomers snapping their pencils. In noise I'm going to set final keyframes for scale Y, roughness and Lacunarity. And Lacunarity. While scale Y is pretty self-explanatory, it's the height of the, damn it, cloudy ring thing, roughness and Lacunarity is being used here like fractal noise's complexity settings. Lacunarity is the gaps in the geometry and comes from the Latin meaning space in speech where the host struggles to pronounce it. I'm also going to set keyframes for noise speed inside and noise speed outside. These determine the speed of the clouds. By having two values, you get control over not just how fast the black hole is spinning, but also the... drag? Sorry, was that a knock at the door? Okay, now that I have a bunch of keyframes, I'll go ahead and tap U on the keyboard to highlight these properties on the timeline. And then I'll go to the start of the comp. And I'll change black hole mass to 0, disk radius inner to 30, but disk radius outer to 0. I'll set the disk thickness to 650. Set scale Y to 15, roughness to 20, and Lacunarity to 2. and noise speed inside to 50, and noise speed outside to 50 as well. Now, this is okay so far, but rather than have everything grow at once, let's have the black hole's event horizon appear and have that drive the accumulation of the accretion disk. I nearly said cloudy ring thing again, but I've heard shouting outside and I'm fairly certain it's the Royal Society of Astronomers. Honestly, it's not like I don't follow my horoscope. I'm going to move the current time indicator to about halfway between the two sets of keyframes. And I'm going to set disk radius inner to 0 and disk radius outer to 30. This should keep the disk just slightly visible around the event horizon until the sphere is of a certain size before the disk begins to grow. I'm also going to move the Lacunarity and noise speed inner keyframes a little further forward, so we don't see too much detail right away. And then, just after the middle set of keyframes, I'm going to move the thickness, scale, roughness, and disk speed outer to create the effect of ending up, rather than gradually getting here. And speaking of which, I'll highlight all the final keyframes, right click and choose Keyframe Assistant, Easy Ease In. It's all happening very quickly, but that gave me a look I preferred. Although speaking of looks, ProductionCrate naturally recommends adding their Easy Glow effect to add a look of overexposing bright areas. But you can get away with just using AE's built-in glow. In Crate's black hole rendering settings, I uncheck linear. Now ProductionCrate recommends leaving this checked, but it worked out well for me. In glow, I set the radius to a whopping 200, but dropped the brightness all the way down to 0.7. And for a final touch, over the course of the formation, I keyframe the camera's Z rotation to go from -90 to 0, to sort of suggest that this is a mass spinning in multiple directions before finally settling in. I'm quite sure this formation animation is in no way scientific, but I think it looks pretty good. I'd made the comp and solid square, then nested the whole thing in another comp. This gives me the ability to have non-rotating stars, so I just have to go ahead and add my starfield preset. I'll then remove the twinkle effect, and in CC Starburst, I'll drop the size down to 25 and the spacing to 150. And for the end result, I also added my Quick Cheats template. Then there you go. I really like this new plugin. It's very cool that it's free. Links to it, my starfields and Quick Cheats template are all in the description below. And if I say thank you to ProductionCrate, can you all take it as read that it still isn't sponsored content? And now if you'll excuse me, I have to answer the door to an angry Professor Brian Cox.